Hello again and welcome to part 2 of our My Real Estate Flyers video for creating a basic flyer, going through all of those steps. We already went through in part 1 of the video, created a lot of the basics for our flyer, our backgrounds, our borders and things like that. Now we're going to dive in and look at some of the internal elements of our flyer. The first one we're going to look at, scroll down a little bit here, is the description blocks. The description block is this section here. This is going to list all of the specifics about the property that you want to type in. We do limit it to 500 characters because you want it so that you give them a good indication of what the house is all about, what it has to offer. But we don't want so much on here that it's just going to turn this flyer into nothing but pure text. The background color for that, again, is all of the elements on here we can change. I'm going to pick a light blue color. Border color, I'm going to round it, but I'm going to make it transparent. I just want to see the blue. I don't want to see any border on that. And let me go ahead right now and I'm going to enter some description. And we're back. I paused the video real quick so I could type all of this in without having to make you watch it. Now that we have the description, when we mouse out or click out of that box, you see it updates our preview here. And the preview, again, it's meant to be just that, a preview. It's not in very much detail. It's not in high resolution. It's just meant to give you an idea of how the flyer is going to look like. I'll show you here in a minute how you can preview the actual flyer and how it's going to look online. So let's move on with this. We have the font selection down here again. You can change it to impact or leave it at Arial. For the description and the line items, the bulleted items, I like to leave that at Arial because it's a more readable font when it's smaller. If you don't have a lot of text maybe in your description, you can try changing it to impact, see how that's going to look. But for our demo here, I'm going to leave it at Arial. And I'm going to leave the font color purplish dark. Again, I'm picking some outrageous colors because I want you to be able to see, as I'm going through it, what's changing on the flyer and how it's going to look. Our contact information, again down here, this gets created automatically. Your picture will appear here, your contact info will be here, and your logo will appear here. But this little section is just meant to give you an idea of how that's going to look on the printed flyer and the web flyer. Here again we have some background choices we can make. I can change the border of that. Let's give it a sort of a dark pink border, rounded. I love the rounded corners, so I'm going to make that round. Font, I'm going to leave it Arial. And the text, I'll make it that blue color that we have in the box up above, just to keep it separate here. Now let's move up to the bulleted items. As it tells you here, each line is a bullet item. There's a limit of 250 characters or 6 lines. So what it's going to do is create just what it says, a bulleted item list of what this property has. So let's just put down that it does have a swimming pool. It does have a 3-car garage. And let's just put that it has a large covered patio. And you notice that after I typed each one, I hit the enter key. And when I do that, it skips to the next line. Because just like it tells you here, each line will appear as a bullet item. And you see when I moused out of that, it updated it here. And I know it's kind of hard to see on this video, but it's got the bullet items here: swimming pool, 3-car garage, large covered patio. So enter as many of those as you want, up to 6 lines. And here again, we can change the background color, border color. We can turn the whole thing off if we want to. Let's do that and get an idea of what that's going to look like. I'm not going to round the corners this time. I'll leave it at Arial, and I'm going to leave it at black. When you're all done with your flyer, or you're just at a point where you want to really take a detailed look at it to see what it looks like, hit the Save Flyer Information. When you do that, it tells you your changes are saved, and you click, you come back to the saved flyer. It tells you up here, changes saved. Now what we can do is come up here to My Flyers. There's our flyer just listed there. Hit that. to edit it, or we can come back over here to the preview section and view the web version. Now you can see it has all of the information that we've entered. It doesn't have images yet. We're going to cover that in just a second. But all the font colors, everything that we specified is here. If we scroll down, we see that the web version contains some additional information. We had a nice little biography box here. Lists your name, your real estate office, and your designations. If you remember from the video where we showed you setting up your account, we selected those designations. This is where they appear here, so that people looking at your flyer online, they see all of your information, your qualifications. They get your bio down here. They also get a link to your website, your email. If you specified a Facebook link or a Twitter link, those boxes will appear here also. So there's all kinds of different ways people can find you and locate you and contact you. We have the equal housing logo at the bottom, as well as the words equal housing opportunity. And down here is where we also list that additional disclaimer text. If you remember again from the video, we talked about if your broker, your company, or yourself, if you require or want anything else at the bottom of not only this flyer, but the PDF file version of the flyer will be printed at the bottom here. So let's go back to our MyFlyers. And you can see we have an option down here for images. We can add or edit pictures. I'm going to click on that. And currently for this flyer, it gives the number up here, I have no images selected. So what I'm going to do is come down here. You have a main picture and two sub pictures. If you only have one picture, just specify the main. And on the electronic and PDF version of the flyer, it'll be centered and it'll be a little bit larger. If you have two more pictures, put those here and it'll show up offset. You'll have the main picture off to the left and then the two smaller pictures to the right. And I'll show you what that looks like in just a second. But for now, let me hit browse. Let me pick a nice outside shot for the main picture. And each picture has to have this save photo button clicked for each one. It won't do bulk items. So after we do the main picture, save the photo. Tells you it's been updated, and in fact when I look, yes, it has been updated. I'm going to come here, pick a couple of more shots. And there we are. I've got the 3 photos now for my flyer. I have an option for sub picture 3, and we're going to be adding here in the near future sub picture 4. The reason that we allow for the extra pictures is that you can only have a maximum of 3 on your flyer, your printed flyer and your e-flyer. But for the online version, what we're going to do is list additional photos at the bottom. So if you have more photos you want to show, upload them here. And on the digital version, the web page version of the flyer, people will be able to see those additional pictures. So, but now that I have the pictures created, I'm going to go up here, click on My Flyers again. And now, when I do the view web version, you can see there's my pictures that I just uploaded. They have the border that I specified. The border's rounded, just like I specified. I've got my main picture, my 2 sub pictures. I've got my text, my bullet points. And I can go back now, because of this detailed view, I get a much better picture of how that flyer is going to look, both online and for the PDF version. So you can go back and make any subtle changes that you want. Let me go back for just one moment and talk about what's listed under my current flyers. You see that right now the paid option is set to no. If you're anything but a Premier subscriber, the flyer does need to be purchased first before it will show. Active is totally separate from paid in that, for example, Premier members, when they create a flyer, it's automatically paid, but it's marked as inactive. Inactive allows you to turn a flyer on and off so that if you do need to make changes, you notice something in it that needs to change, or there perhaps a suspension in the listing or whatever, just flip the active to no, and it will not show up on either the electronic version or the Facebook link or whatever. The user will just get a nice message saying that the flyer is not active. So once you pay for a flyer, active still says no. So even though you may have paid for it, and you may notice that your flyer isn't showing up. Go back here and check and make sure active is checked to yes. When the flyer is paid for, which I'm going to do right now, I click that. I'm going to use my 1 credit token, or I can buy bulk tokens, save a little bit of money, but right now I'm just going to pay with my 1 token. Flyer's complete. Now when I go back to my flyers, you see now I have the option to activate it. So it is paid, but now I can activate it here. When I click it, it makes it active immediately. If for some reason I need to make it inactive, just click the Make Inactive button, turns it back off again. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and in the next one we're going to cover the purchase options, subscription options, and in another video we're going to talk about marketing your flyer. Thanks for watching and have a great day.